Hello, I'm making this video of, I would say my top 5 Mia picks I use the most. So I'll just start off. Um, I would just say my number 1 pick is Santa Lucia because she was like my best healer when it came to that. She is just so tanky. It's like you see her. I'm using my best weapon right there, and she's at gold and 2-star on defense. And add to that, with all my bonuses I have, look at all the resists. Resist is retarded. Mine's the resist light because of the cards probably, but her resist all is ridiculous. It's 30 to all. Her hit points are pretty decent. With her what we call it, skill cards, that kind of helped a little bit more because of that. And plus, she gets element generator, which was freaking retarded. So for a long time, I was using her as my healer for multiplayer, and she was my best pick of my squads. I had to say number 2 is the Vandal Geomancer. Between Santa Lucia and her, they were both my healers. But the thing is that as I was building up my Ranger Supreme cards, she has Ranger support in her deck, right there. And in multiplayer, I was doing really good because I was keeping everyone alive, so I always kept like at least one offense. So I was using Trine, Goto's card for the ultimate wind ranger, and yeah, I was using just one offense, and everything else I think I had, like, let's say Aerith, Limitless Potential, Lights of Hope, and I don't know, probably a hit point up or something like that. The Palamecia tail, which gives you all your hearts into, or transfer your orbs into hearts. Of course, at that time when this character was up, but now later on I got Ultimate X, and just having those 3 support cards plus a Goldo is just ridiculous. And not to mention, because the Ranger Supreme card, it was giving me extra movement action. So I was like having a maximum of 10 actions or something like that I can hold. So it was pretty ridiculous. As I said, this is my second best. Even though, I have Ranger cards and such, and it makes her retarded. So it's like I can use a lot of these. Like I have wind, earth, and water. So if I actually want to go there, my best cards: wind, water, and earth. Not fire. And I go by my card level. I think that's what it was. Yes. And there they are. Yeah, so I'll be using him. Using him. And using her. So it was just ew with her. Third pick, I would say, is Lady of the Lake. It's one of her EX jobs. She's a glass cannon. That's the only thing I don't like about Mia, one of her EX jobs. That she becomes a super glass cannon. It's just retarded amount of. The only thing I actually would probably make her actually tanking was the Starcross Lover, because she actually became tanky. But unfortunately, she was so late in the game that Santa Lucia and Vanadil Geomancer still just outshines her. But Lady of the Lake, though, I just like her because, well, in the storyline, if you actually get through a certain point in the chapters, she actually dons this armor, this getup, and she looked freaking amazing. I was like, oh my god, what is this job she's doing right now? Because I loved how she looked. She looked amazing. And in turn, later on, she was her EX job, Lady of the Lake. And not to mention, when you use her limit break, if you saw my previous video, she kind of goes Dragon Ball Z on you. Like she throws all these like Kai blasts in the air, even though it's all water blasts. But and all of a sudden, she's just like, it's like Jesus. So I had to give her props. She's pretty damn awesome on that. So number four, I had to say Sorceress of Oblivion, which is aka the legend job for Ultimecia get up, and they stay true to how Ultimecia goes. It's like she puts the pressure on if you play Final Fantasy Dissidia, and not to mention her limit break is ridiculous. It's like a super bad breath from Marbleau. And what's even worse is that if you have the Sorceress Wind card, the Wizard card, Supreme, Emperor of Algoroth, or okay, just the Emperor from Final Fantasy 2. So it has misfortune. So every time you put element on the target, it increases the damage. I think it's like 250 enhanced damage for I think go up to like 5 stacks worth. So it's a lot of freaking damage. Only problem is that you gotta actually switch her because, like you said, you see me right now. I'm not in win, but when she's in win, that's gonna be some damage. Yeah, she's a bruiser. Her break damage is pretty damn good with her limit break. So knowing that she can get prismatic shift, they also debuff the hell, and then if they're weak against wind, obviously I use the Emperor Supreme card, and pretty much razz the hell out of them. And I was using her for what you call it, Pandemonium Fortress for getting my Magicite per month. And yeah, one of the bosses that were weak against wind, and yeah, she was just destroying them in I think like 2 turns worth of actions. So yeah, she was pretty deadly in that time. Not to mention, much as I hate personally, much as I hate Final Fantasy VIII, I actually like Ultimecia as a villain. Is I should say. I don't know. Just some reason I just like the character look. It's like she's pretty awesome, you know. Hell, they went so detailed that her feet actually try to mimic Ultimecia's. So I had to give them props to how they made Mia in Ultimecia format. If I got to go top five, I would have to say is the Vasa Carranza. This job, when it started out, she had warrior access. So she has mage and warrior lore. So obviously, mage because it's Mia. And this job gave her warrior lore. Well, when the Hall of Fame came out, they gave her ranger lore. So knowing I can use warrior cards, I can use mage cards, and I can use ranger. Yeah, you see the spell element lineup. I could use the mage warrior water supreme card. I can use the ranger water supreme card. I can use if I wanted to. I can actually use the emperor mage supreme card, and I can use Gardo from the ranger supreme card. I don't have Ultima, unfortunately. I know apparently in multiplayer she's amazing when she uses Ultima, but I never got a chance to get Ultima as a Supreme card. Even though it was like I think it was like the first Supreme card they released in the game, and I never got it throughout this whole career of my game. I have Greg X or Gilgamesh X as other people, but if you play Final Fantasy 14, you'll get the reason why it's called Greg. Yeah, she's pretty nasty. And not to mention, I kind of like her outfit. And at the time, Warrior Light had his job, almost similar to her, because both of her and him at the time when these two jobs, because I think it was Sword Saint, and this one came out soon after, because they're heavy melee attack, which you can see her stat. She's pretty freaking hefty for a mage on her attack damage and her magic. Problem is their break power. sucked really bad. So they can do a lot of damage, but they just can't break for worth a damn. So, yeah, I'd say this is my top five for what Mia jobs I usually play and I actually like. So, an alternative, if I didn't had Santa Lucia, which I had her first, because at the time I think a Christmas event came out and I grabbed her in the banner. But I think a month later, Glam Vamp came out, which was pretty much an alternative version of Santa Lucia because they're almost similar. They had the same like defense system at the time, but later on, obviously, the Hall of Fame got better for her, which they added a little bit more defensive. The only difference between the two is the prismatic. Where is it? Prismatic element starter. So it makes her a real heavy healer in the beginning. But other than that, yeah. I didn't like this whole overpower system they put for Mia in the early jobs. But so yeah, that'd be my top five Mia jobs I actually liked in this game. So I'll continue on making more videos of this until the server shut down. Yeah, I'm kind of running a little late here. So I'll talk to you in the next video.